Okay. Hi, this is Jennifer Ortega with MUSE TV and Culturally Obsessed, and I am here with the director of my favorite movie I've seen in a really long time, Ant Timpson, and the movie has Come to Daddy.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, I'm very excited about this.
I'm excited.
I'm a little more excited, I think.
I'm pretending to be excited.
It's so good.
Thank you.
I mean, I saw it at Yawnfest, and your Q&A was great, and I can't believe Elijah was there right after having a baby too. Like
It was a big time for him. Lots going on. Obviously, his baby's probably was the priority in that situation. But it seems like a long time because we premiered at Tribeca, which is
when's Tribeca? In September?
April.
Oh shit! I'm way off.
April, I think. It's been a while. So it feels like we've been talking about it for a long, long time. So it's great that people are finally getting a chance to see it.
Everyone I've driven crazy now, I could force to now you go see it, and now we could talk about it, and you'll still hate me because I'll still talk about it continuously.
I'm not going to stop you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to. I love the so this was your directorial debut.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting how you came to want to make this movie after your father passed.
Yeah. It's great inspiration for anyone. Lose a parent, get inspired. I had a very traumatic experience with my dad dying literally in front of me, and his partner at the time thought it would be a very good part of the grieving process for me and my siblings to spend time with his body in his house and sort of go through a grieving process for a week. And everyone was kind of busy, and they all popped in, and we shared stories and did that sort of side of things. And then at night time, I was alone with his body in a coffin, and being the hammer obsessed kid and walking around a big house alone at night with a body around, he starts playing crazy mind games on you, and then so that was sort of that was the start of this whole journey. And then we had some really strange visitors turn up and pay their respects to him, and they had stories about my father I'd never heard before, and I was like, wow, I don't know if I knew everything about my father, before he passed. And I had all these questions. You always have all these questions with your parents after they go that you should have asked, and you can kill yourself that you don't do it. And even when you've got the body there, you're supposed to, I've seen it in so many bad TV movies where you talk to the body, but I couldn't do it. It was just like, oh, this is too freaky. So, but I was just, I started playing around after that whole experience of I really wanted to make a tribute to him, and kind of I was staring at mortality so much. It was like, oh my God, life's so short. And I started off making short films, and I was like, that was this young kid that was dreaming about being a feature filmmaker. And then he just got buried by life and supporting other people's dreams and everything. And I just was staring death in the face. I was like, holy smokes, I've got to get my A into G. I need to do something. And then I wrote to a good friend of mine, Toby, who we worked together on The Greasy Strangler, and said, look, I've got the skeleton structure of an idea for something that would be hopefully sort of testament to the films that I used to watch with my dad in the 70s. And so that's how it all came about. That's the short version of the long version, but yeah.
I just think you and Toby are geniuses. Because it's amazing. The dialogue's amazing. Everything's amazing in it, and I love that it's not just a horror movie. It's probably some of the funniest scenes, even though they're horrifying at the same time. I've seen in such a long time.
It's such grim subject matter a lot of the time. So I come from a background of a family that sort of, every time there's some tragedy or whatever, humor comes pretty quickly. Right from when I think my grandmother had dementia, I was cracking jokes during all of it. I just think it's the only way that our family coped with horrible, horrible things. And so Toby's got that sensibility as well. I don't know whether it's a British thing but we bond over that stuff. So I just think it's a coping mechanism, and I kind of like writing that balance as well. It's to me, it's not a horror per se. I don't know if hardcore horror fans it might not be what they're expecting, but I think it has elements of a lot of type of films. It's a potpourri of genre films.
Definitely, because it's not just. It isn't. I wouldn't just say it's. Even though that classifies horror, it's not just a horror movie at
Don't
all.
apologise.
I'm so sorry.
No, I mean, but
No, but it isn't at all.
But you know, a lot of filmmakers goes, "Oh my," you know, it's not a snobby thing. It's
No,
like
no.
because I'm obsessed with horror
I love
films.
horror films too, but it's one of those films. Even if you go in thinking it's strictly a horror, it transcends that because it is hilarious, but it's also like really it's really tender, and it's like there's some scenes that are like very touching in it.
Well, it's great that you felt that.
Yeah.
I mean, because deep down there's a lot of personal connection for me with the subject matter. But yeah, you once the film gets loopy and it's like we start having a lot of fun with things, it's like you hopefully that sort of emotional build up you've done early on starts to pay off in ways towards the end. So I'm glad it works on that level as well for people.
Oh, absolutely. I went in seeing it at Yawnfest. I knew like very little about it. I knew about you. I knew about Toby, Elijah, of course, but I didn't really, and I was like really blown away. I was like, Jesus Christ. I love
Cool.
this
That's
movie.
great. Well, I think unexpected, like these days we're so inundated with advanced sort of knowledge of films and what we're expecting, and so audiences are kind of, you know, they're taking on a route that they're very familiar with, and it feels quite pedestrian at times. So anything to be like where you can take an audience for like a wild ride and have a few surprises along the way is always going to be better for them.
Absolutely. Definitely, with the trailer now, I think they did a good job with the trailer. It really doesn't give away.
I was really happy with the trailer. I'm obsessed with trailers, and I hate the modern sensibility of like.
Oh, I get so pissed off.
Yeah, like it's fear-based marketing. Like everyone, they're terrified of like not selling the film enough, so they end up just going all in. And I understand it. You got hundreds of millions riding on these things, so it's like, why risk it? So for a smaller film like this, I thought it was a really smart way to go. Is like keep your cards hidden as much as possible.
In what phase of the film did you always have kind of Elijah in mind for?
Yeah.
Because that's one of my favorite roles he's ever been in. I think he's phenomenal.
There was no one else, and you know that's the usual thing. It's like everyone goes, "Oh, that's the actor we had." You know, that was the only actor we had. But the reality is, it's never the actor that you want because it just doesn't work out that way. But I had a personal connection with Elijah, and when we were writing the script, that's all we spoke about. It was like, this would be so fun for Elijah on just so many levels. So it was lucky that I knew the guy, that he loved the script, and we'd all sort of worked together before on The Greasy Strangler.
Yeah.
I
love that he with Spectrovision that he basically could do whatever he wants at this point in his career, and that he was producing movies like Greasy Strangler and now in Come to Daddy. So which makes me so happy.
Yeah,
makes me very happy.
He's just. I mean, it's just really encouraging to see people of his stature wanting to, like, you know, be obsessed with a particular type of filmmaking and supporting sort of voices that he's into, when he could take an easy route, you know. But he's same with, you know, guys like Radcliffe and things. They just Patterson. They all
Definitely.
Any of those people who come out of those huge franchises and then just want to take a 180 away from it is, I think, is really the smart way.
I do, because I mean, I growing up, like, I've always loved like foreign film and indie film, and there's so many amazing films and great storytellers that I feel like get overlooked. That's why I hate like big award shows, because I'm like, bleh, usually on everything that gets nominated. But so I'm so happy like this movie was made and so well. It's because people. It's just beautiful. Like, it's so weird to say, but I think there's like a beauty to it.
Oh.
And I'm so excited to see it.
Well, as a first film, I thought it would be really smart to surround myself with super talented people. So I had some really knockout, you know, very qualified people working with me.
Yeah.
So it was just also filmmaking. The term I always use is like alchemy, and it's like you're mixing all these things together, and it's either going to blow up in your face or you're going to make it something that's cast a spell, you know. So that's we got lucky in a lot of ways, and so I'm just really happy that I ended up with a tribute to my dad that doesn't suck.
It really doesn't at all. It's fucking amazing. I think it's the best kind of tribute ever.
Thank you.
You started with doing 48-hour film festival, right? And
Yeah, no, well, I'm old, Jennifer, so I've been around a long time. So no, I started off working as like a runner on films, feature films, AD sort of stuff, and then I got into exhibition. So I was a manager of an art house, a very cool art house that used to play crazy cult films and things. It was super fun. And then I got into distribution, releasing films like Slacker and stuff. And then
Slacker.
And Action Mutante, and just oddball things that I was like, I'm going to start a specialist distribution company. And then I got into producing and working on people's things. And right around that time, I started the Incredibly Strange Film Festival, which became this annual huge traveling film show, like a circus. And that I'm still doing that now, so that's 25 years on. And then 2003, I started the 48-hour thing in New Zealand. And Peter Jackson came on board that, and the minute he came on board, it just blew up. Crazy. And then heaps of filmmakers have come out of that. Like Taika Waititi did his first, he did crazy shorts for us in the first 5-6 years, I think he did them. And then Gerard, who did Housebound, I ended up working with him. And so there's been a lot of, and now I'm just seeing a lot of sort of films coming out of that whole sort of incubator, which I think I'm just so proud of that. Like it's been really cool to watch.
I love that, and I love just showing these kind of films. I mean, I love it. So because Come Daddy's out right now and everything, but do you plan on directing more in the future? Is what I'm curious.
Well, if I get another chance, absolutely. Toby and I have been dabbling away at something. We have, I think I could only ever work on something that I'm sort of got like a sort of personal connection to, so I don't think, so there was no sort of like going out looking at scripts or anything. So it's another thing that we've been working on for a while now, and it's, I really, really think it's kind of cool.
I met Daniel Noah recently.
Yeah.
And I told him, like, like Toby and Ant, no matter what they want to do, you don't have to read it, just give them money to make it.
Good, thank you.
So I put in my word for it.
Now we'll just wait for the cash to come in.
Anytime I see, it's kind of like psychotic, because like anytime like Mike's seen this, I'm on a carpet. There's been multiple times where I'm in the interview, I'm like, you know what movie you'd really like?
Oh, Jennifer.
You need to go see Come to Daddy.
And you have to tell people on camera that I haven't paid you anything for this.
No, you really haven't.
For this endorsement.
It's just like when I really like something, I can't shut up about it.
That's cool.
I've been like that my whole life. So I have lots of interviews. I really could make a reel with, I'll send it to you of all the people.
Absolutely, like, it's like a little YouTube, fan out.
Yeah,
well, until you find your next one, and then will just be this film that you forget about, and you move on to someone new.
No, I stuck into Twin Peaks Firewalk with Me when I was like 11. And I still obsessed with Twin Peaks. So
it's a great film.
Yeah, so like it'll stay.
Yeah.
I'm
good.
40 this year, so it's like it stays with me. So don't worry, I will be talking about this for a long time. But thank you. I'm so happy to have you here, and I'm so glad that it's in theaters and
people can finally see it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you can shut up for a little while.
A little bit, but I talk a lot, so I'm not going to shut that
No,
much.
please. Thank you so much.
Of course. No, thank you.